March 21st. It's 3 o'clock p.m. This meeting is being streamed live on Central Coast YouTube channel, and if anyone has public comments or questions, they can comment on the live stream, and the questions will be relayed to the board members and answered at the end of the meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Bruce Booth?
Here.
Rita Ackerman?
Here
John McCall?
Here.
Greg Dunn?
Here.
Zach Aiken?
is delayed, should be here.
Quorum present.
Okay, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of February 15th, 2024? Are there any additions, corrections, questions, comments? Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Citizen participation. Okay, we have no citizens. Staff presentations.
You jumped over budget calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry, budget calendar. Okay, it looks like we have to appoint the budget officer. And then, review the calendar. But, do I hear any nominations for appointment to budget officer?
And it's always me.
It's always you.
Yeah, it is.
Revert back to the procedural that we've used in the past.
Yeah. All right, I move to approve Jamie Mason as our budget officer. Can I get a second?
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Jamie as the budget officer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So, do we need any further action on the budget calendar, or?
I think you just have to approve it, right?
Yep.
I don't know that it has to be approved, but wouldn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
have it.
It's the same schedule as we followed in the past, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we double checked the dates earlier.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I think consensus approves the budget calendar. Okay, now we can have staff presentations.
Oh, me first? It used to be you first.
I moved the call thing to the back of my report.
And anyway, my life's been up at Tidewater. The shop's pretty much moved up there. I've been working on our new Type 3. The wrap is about 60% done. So right now it kind of looks like a big holiday ornament. But tomorrow I should have most of the black on the cab done. The body's all done. Striping's all done. Chief picks up the lettering for it tomorrow. So it'll be pretty much rolling. Hopefully my goal is by the next week. So other than that, that's pretty much it for my world.
So I have a couple of things. First, in your books, there is a thing, an order form. There's the top, everybody, the board members wanted something to say they're a board member. So these are just mock-ups, not what the finished product will actually look like, but just so you kind of see, this would be a zip up. Let's kind of just pass this around. And then a pullover. And these are just ones that we had. So if you would like one, I just need you to fill, I don't need all the info, I just need your name, what kind you'd like, and the size you'd like. And I will make those for you. these are all the patches from hats that didn't work out, so they just sent the patches, and so I'm reusing them this way. The other thing was, there had been a discussion about surveys and doing a survey or poll.
Well, we were talking about, doing a poll for getting information back from the public on what they would support, and that was when we were talking about whether or not there would be two sites available.
Okay.
So I think that we'll probably table that until the workshop.
Okay,
Just
because I can
because of
modify them.
what came out of the architectural report. So, met with an architect on Tuesday, took him around the station so he could see everything, and then took him up to the site on Cedar, and let him see that, and then came back and had a meeting about it, and then he's putting together a proposal to present to you as the board, at the workshop. So, it sounds like, long story short, unless we're willing to come up with a bunch of money to invest into that property while not knowing that it's even gonna work, then that's not gonna work, right? Would you agree? Because you were there, John. So, he's gonna come back with a proposal, and so we're just gonna need to lock down a workshop date. And so I'm gonna send out an email, this afternoon when I needed to ask Zach what his hours are right now, so I can try to make sure he's not being forced to use PTO to attend the meeting, so. And then we'll get that locked in, and then he'll be here to give a presentation and talk about the sites and everything, so that we can try to get land locked in going forward. So, and then the poll will be kind of
Yeah, so it can,
coming out of that.
it can be modified.
So, yep.
It was a good meeting. Definitely a good meeting.
Didn't have anything else?
Yep.
Okay, volunteer report?
Yep, we still have some.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Bingo's still going good.
yeah, we still got, of course, last month was our first fire, last month too.
Yeah,
So we got a little more, we still haven't really put it out there, marketing wise, so it's this next month, because in all fairness, me and Wendy were kind of tossing around, not doing it anymore, in all fairness, so. But we decided, no, we just want to keep going and keep it going, so we're gonna go, you'll see a lot more marketing come out for next month, so hopefully. I'd like to at least get us back to where we were at, our capacity, that capacity. Everybody makes a little bit more money when they win, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun for me because I get to like poke fun at other people that's, not just our regulars, so. But, yeah, other than that, we're just plugging away.
should be almost ready to put out, we'll talk about it at our association meeting Monday, but, ready to put out another scholarship.
Oh, yes, we're like right there.
Yeah. We haven't figured out the income from last bingo night, how it factors into that, but I think that put us there. Because we weren't far off from it, so.
Good. Okay, do we have a union report? Okay. Finance report.
Oh, yeah. Through the end of February 2024, the district had on hand $634,340 in cash in the accounts. The current levy funds for the year, we've accrued $1,033,289. So we're getting pretty close to the end of the year, about 6% to go. We should be seeing that here in another couple of months. Prior levy funds hasn't changed much from the prior month, 16,838, but it's well above the $3,500 that we budgeted. Here's something that I thought was kind of interesting. Well, I think it's all interesting, but interest for the year we accrued $12,180 in earned interest from our accounts.
From the LGIP?
LGI and Oregon Coast Bank,
Okay.
the money market there. So that's a pretty substantial bit of money. I don't think it's going to continue that way. Right now, the LGIP, or at the end of last month, was earning 5.2%, which seems a little high. I imagine it's going to start coming down from there, but hopefully it stays up there. That's quite nice. No change in legal services from the prior month, $6,130. That's all local government law group. Office supplies, we've almost used up the budget for the year. We budgeted $8,000, we've used $7,060 to the end of the month. Building maintenance, $7,380 for the year. And last one I wanted to mention, vehicle repair, $17,441, and we budgeted $20,000. So obviously Eric's doing his job. Or
Yes.
wouldn't be up there.
Fake it really well, right?
And the audit, we got $6,395, which is a pretty good deal, actually, compared to what it's going for now.
Yeah.
I think we have this next fiscal year be our last that we have a quote on, and then it's hard to say where it'll go after that, but at least they've held to their quote.
Right.
So, anyway, that's all I have for today.
Okay. Can I get approval of the financial report and permission to pay the bills?
Make a motion to accept the finances and pay the bills.
And I'll second that with conflict on two checks, 74393 and 74424.
So it's been moved and seconded to accept the financial report and approve the bills. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Do we have any correspondence?
Not this month.
Okay, then we have old business, EF recovery ordinance change.
So you should have in your packet, one that's got red marks on it. Last month, we discussed making some changes, as far as EMS part of the billing. So on page 2, under F is where Chief and I kind of came up with the wording to make those changes. And then on page 5, we had discussed just getting rid of letter D on there altogether, because the changes we made under F kind of took care of that. So it's just basically so that we can bill for stuff prior to arrival of any transporting agency, so whether it's PacWest or South Lincoln Ambulance. If we start patient care, we can bill their insurance, and I believe it says it in here anyways, we don't bill the resident, the responsible party, unless they don't live here. And that didn't change, so the only thing that changed was we took out D and modified the wording on F.
No out-of-pocket costs for residents.
Yeah.
Right, which is what we wanted to make sure of. Does anybody have any questions on those revisions?
Looks good.
Do motion and vote to accept the resolution because it actually creates a new resolution
Right.
within your number.
Yeah, I changed the resolution number, and then I have a printed
clean
copy with
copy.
the date
Yeah.
on the back, the year on the back, correct? Because I forgot that.
Okay,
So make a motion to accept the resolution update from 2201 to 202402 as edited.
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2024-02 to replace resolution number 2022-01. I will read the title of the resolution. Resolution to protect the fire district from extraordinary expenses resulting from the utilization of fire district resources in response to certain public safety, fire, or emergency incidents or conditions, and to authorize the imposition of charges and the methods for collection for recovering reasonable and actual costs incurred in responding to such incidents or conditions. All those in favor? Aye.
We should not need a new fee schedule because I believe it was already included in our last one, but I'll double check.
Okay.
So, all right, I'll send that to them.
I do note one change, and that is, you've got the fire district ordains, and it's actually resolves. A resolution resolves, an ordinance ordains. So, the first line, or the first line underneath the title, the very last word, should be resolves.
Okay. Add that to the edits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. And under new business, we have the audit report summary, which is also in your packet.
So the first one should just be their kind of summary letter. And the second one is their report that they want signed, which I have the originals. And did anybody else want a hard copy of the audit? I know I emailed a copy to everyone earlier. If you want a hard copy, I've got them here.
I think the electronic is fine.
Okay. I always keep them out in the office too, so.
Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, then I guess just a motion to have me sign the letter.
Make a motion to sign the letter.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize signature on the audit letter. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Anything else under either old business or new business? And we go to the chief's report.
You could do, actually, under old business, you can do the auto aid agreement for Yahawks.
Oh,
So
okay.
each of you should have a copy of the auto aid agreement. The Yahawk board and fire chief have signed their portions. So it's time for us to sign our portion.
This was put together by us, or this was put together by them, or yes?
It was put together by us. They made one edit that was minor, and so I'm very happy with it, so.
That was the word I was looking for. Are you pleased with what's in this document?
Yes.
Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns? I hear a motion to approve signing this.
Would you want again?
A motion.
No, a
to
motion, I
approve.
motion that, we sign it, sorry.
Okay,
And I second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve signing the 2024 Automatic Mutual Assistance Agreement between Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue District and Yahawks Rural Fire Protection District. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now we just need one more.
Okay, so,
Baby steps, Mr. Dunn, baby steps.
Chief's report.
Okay, not a lot to report this month. As most of you know, February, March is budget for me, so that's what I'm spending most of my time on, that and then grants. So speaking of grants, so the jet dock was installed. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's down at the port. It's working great. The boat is completely out of the water. And, the only issue we're having now is what to do with the cover when it gets windy. So, that's the only thing, but it's working. We're gonna continue to build upon that. We've got a few more things we're trying to take care of, but for the most part, it's operational. We can deploy the boat right from the port now. So
What's the time, when you get a call, how long does it take to drop that in water?
maybe a
Seconds.
minute or
Yeah,
two.
maybe a minute. By the time you get it started, it's already in the water. I mean, as soon as you release the front bow hook on it, and you walk around and get in it, you fire it up, and you get your blower going, you fire it up, it's in the water right now, so.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
really
quick.
cool.
It's really quick even getting it back out of the water too, because it's like a submarine, right? There's two ballast tanks underneath the dock. If you want it to sink, then you turn the valves and it fills them with water and it sinks the dock, the end of the dock puts the boat in the water. If you want to lift the boat back out of the water, then you turn on the pump and it fills them and injects the water out and fills them with air. And then the dock comes back up and stays out of the water. So it's a pretty simple system. There's no way to overfill the ballast tanks because they have openings. So once they're full of air, they just vent the air out. And it's actually the easiest way to tell that they're full is to wait for the air to start venting out and blow bubbles on each side of the dock. And so it's working exactly as we had hoped it would.
What happens if there's a power outage?
Then we would have to run a generator cord down there to be able to lift it back out of the water. But to put the boat in the water requires no power.
Okay.
You open the valves and it literally lets the air out
Yeah.
automatically by letting
Okay.
the water in. So to
So
deploy the boat.
that would be the only thing I'd be concerned with, was
Yeah,
getting in
we-
the water.
We
not
would
just-
always be able to deploy the boat no matter
Okay.
what.
Okay,
However, getting it back up and out of the water would require power.
yeah.
So, and the rescue has enough generator power to run half of the city.
Yeah.
It's
So
huge.
we could just run a line down there and
Okay.
power it up if we had to.
And it's pretty much even after, even if you don't have a full, it's, once you drive the boat up on that, it's very little left in the water. Where it's sitting at, when it's down, it's only basically the pump that's sitting in the water, that white, now it's white jet pump sticking out the back, that's all that's in the water, the rest of it's out. So, you pretty much drive on it dry, so, other than those first couple little things are, it doesn't take, so even if you don't have power for a while, just having that little bit of water is not gonna hurt it. So.
It's a lot sturdier to walk on than you'd expect too. It's like walking on the dock.
Yeah,
Is there a maintenance plan? You have to do something once a year to make sure everything's working?
Yeah, I've got a big old book of things that I put in
I mean,
our new software.
Is that once a year, is it every 6 months?
It's,
Is it once
there's,
a quarter?
well, there's different stages. There's stuff that you do every year, there's stuff that you do, every month, there's, I mean, it's basically just checking on it, most likely, most of it's just checking on it, making sure the winch is still there, and believe it or not, you don't even have that winch that's on it, you don't leave tight, you leave it loose. It's got a bow anchor to the dock itself, but the winch is just there to basically pull the boat down when you're filling the ballast tanks up, but then you release it and leave it loose, and it's just kind of just sitting there as a safety. So, there's really not much to it, 2 minutes.
And
There's stuff
Chief,
that-
is it gonna be Eric doing it, or is it gonna be the crew doing it?
It's a combination. There's gonna be stuff that Eric's responsible for maintenance-wise with it, and then there's gonna be general upkeep that's gonna be on the crews to go down there and clean it off and make sure the boat's up and running and things like that on a regular basis. So we're still putting that plan into gear of how often are we gonna go down there. They give us training on what to use and how to scrub the dock to keep it, the surface from being slippery and clean, and so we're putting that all in play now, so it's gonna be a combination of the two. Oregon Seismic, they said we should know by the end of March, so maybe another week. I would anticipate that they won't be on time, and it'll probably be April before we find out, but I haven't even gone to their website to check in the last week, so they could be on track. I'll probably look next week and see if there's anything posted yet for that. OSFM engine, the tender, so they released a post this week showing about 17 tenders that are almost ready to go, but then I got an update at the Fire Defense Board today that all the tenders are almost there, except they're waiting on PTOs. So they look like they're ready to go, but on the inside, they're not. So we're still expecting sometime closer to July before we'll see that from here. Spire grant came through, and we were awarded PWC with a trailer. At least one that we know of for sure. In my grant request, I put in a narrative with a justification for 2 skis on a trailer, just because of the hazardous conditions of working in the surf, having a safety ski, and the importance of a safety ski. So until they reach out to us and give us the details of the grant, we won't know exactly what we got, other than we did get the grant. So we're getting something. I submitted the confined space equipment grant for Chinook Winds, the Siletz Tribal Charitable Contribution Fund. We won't find out about that until April 24th. That's the award notification date. So that's still got a little while to go. And I submitted 2 of the FEMA AFG grants. I wrote 4 because they told me I could submit 4, and then I went to go to submit them, and it would not let me submit 4. And so I called the help desk, and they said, well, you can submit 1 as regional and 1 as local in order to do 2 in each category. And I said, well, I don't have regional, I only have local. They're like, then you can only submit 2. So I wrote 4, I only got to submit 2. So we got the Type 1 engine, which I talked to you guys about. That went up 30% in cost from last year. So it went from $650 last year to $875 this year. And then we applied for an exhaust removal system for the vehicle bay, and that was only about $45,000 for that to be installed. So it's not a super big expensive one, but it is a big safety issue. So if we get that, that'd be a nice upgrade for the station. I am finishing up the ODF grant. I should be able to submit it tomorrow for the FEP reimbursements for what we're doing to the heavy brush, and, the wrap and the lighting and tools and things that we want on. So I'm sending off a grant that will bring us about $8,000 back for the stuff we're doing with that vehicle. And FEP vehicles under the ODF grant get a higher priority because they are from their program, and they want you to upgrade and keep those vehicles in good care. So we put that in there, and a lot of that, because it's a 1-to-1 match, a lot of the costs are being covered by in-kind matching based off of Eric doing a lot of the work. So where our matching is not going to cost us out of pocket because it's in kind. So that was really good. About 5,000 out of the 8,000 was matched in. Ordinance, EMS billing, we already covered that. Current surplus, we've got tender 74, it's just standing by until the new tender comes in. I'm not gonna get rid of it, obviously, because it's not a SL requirement until the new one comes in, so that's just gonna sit there for a little bit. The fire hose is kind of in the same position where we needed to get the new hose in. We got the new hose in, we're still installing some of the new hose on some of the trucks. Until we're done with what we're gonna do with hose, I don't wanna get rid of something and then find out later that I actually didn't need it, so that's all kind of on standby for now. The only other thing that I have, and I didn't put it on this report in time for turning it in, was I wanted to have a discussion about, so we have a Connex box up at Township 13. It was originally gonna be used by CERT to be able to get the CERT stuff out of SLR and into their own storage space. That hasn't happened, it's sat empty. Township 13 wanted to use it, they thought it was theirs, it's the fire district's. I had to do a lot of tracking with emergency management to figure out all this stuff. So it's our Connex box, and so we have a trailer that sits at the Corona Court station, which is one of Yaha's station, and that has the sheltering and, it's not mass casualty. Everybody thinks it's got mass casualty. It doesn't have any mass casualty stuff in it. It's mass sheltering and deployment. So if we had a wildland fire and we started evacuating people out of Tidewater and Five Rivers, we could set up some of that stuff to start being able to help housing people temporarily as they figure out a plan of where to go, something like that, right? It's not a lot of stuff. Honestly, a lot of it's gonna get used for us if we have to evacuate out of this fire station for whatever reason and set up a mobile site somewhere else. It's gonna get used for us, because there's really only enough in there to use for us. To basically set up a command post and an operations center somewhere else. So what I wanna do is, and I've been talking with Sue Graves at the school, is I wanna move that Connex box over to the school and put all the stuff for the trailer in the Connex box and give the trailer back to the county. It's a car hauler, it's heavy. Most of the vehicles aren't gonna haul that trailer around, and then if we're already out there dealing with the emergency, there's none of us to haul it anyway.
Right.
So if we locate it at the school, that's the only space big enough where we can stack a bunch of fire trucks plus people, and if people are evacuating and they have cars, and we can stick those all in the parking lot and help people, but also still have an operational site to work from. We talked about moving it over to Public Works. There's just not enough space over there to set up that kind of level of command center operations with fire trucks and everything moving.
And we have a good understanding with the school about,
Well, that's the next phase, is, I didn't want to move any further in conversation with
Right.
Sue until I got board consensus that that's what we want to do. So, part of this is operational. I'm kind of kicking this back to the board to say, you know, here's what we can do. I think this is the best way to do it. And then I want to develop an emergency operations plan for if we have to evacuate from this building, this is what we're going to do, and this is where we're going to go, and this is how we're going to do it. And then I want to do training on how to do it. So that's the long-term plan.
so do we want to discuss this now? Do we want to put it on the agenda for next month? What do we want to do?
So you just want kind of an idea, us to approve you to go talk to the school? Is that kind of what you're wanting?
Well, I guess,
I'm looking for, a board approval that moving the Connex to the school, if an agreement is set up with the school to be able to do that, can be made. I don't want to start making commitments with the school or even having conversations about commitments with the school. Susan's already sent me a MOU to put in place, and I don't want to go any further with it yet unless I know that that's the direction we want to go. So for me, the way I look at it is, if something major happens and we can't be down here, and everybody's evacuating and have to go somewhere and at least check in and tell us that they're clear and out of the area, that's the only space big enough to do it.
right, yeah.
You know, is the school grounds.
Well,
So-
and I do think that doing something like that would resolve a couple of things. One, we've got the Connex in Township 13 that it is empty. And I know they prefer using that for their parking lot. Two, we have equipment at Yaquinajon Point, which if we have any kind of a disaster, well, depending on the type of disaster, how are we gonna get that to some place where we can use it? And three, it kind of solidifies the, with the school's agreement, it would solidify the, where do people go? You know,
And the
So-
size of that Connex box, once we unload that trailer, because I've gone over and looked at that trailer and everything in it, and being part of CERT, figuring out what we were gonna do with the Connex box originally, there's so much more we'll be able to do with that Connex box once we've relocated it at the school and worked the plan with the school as far as additional things that we could have in that box that's gonna be to the benefit of the community in those types of disasters. So it's not like we're stuffing it. I mean, we could probably put 3 of those trailers worth of stuff into that one Connex box. So we're gonna have a lot of room to work with.
And I think, and doesn't Red Cross, they have their trailer right next door, don't they?
It's at the,
College?
It's at the college.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
literally right next
So, yeah,
What I was hearing you say, Chief, you're more looking like a temporary evacuation point where, and then once, and you're setting up a command post, you're getting all that set, and then, of course, you're gonna get hold of Red Cross and say, well, where are you gonna put a shelter, and
Yeah.
and give us coordinates is where we're going, yeah, which is the standard. And that's really what's happening up in Newport with their major evacuation camp they're setting up at the airport.
Right.
Again, if we get into a disaster, we may not get to the airport, so we
You know,
would say.
and honestly, working with emergency management up there, I mean, that's, if you look at the long-term plan, that's kind of, I think, where they're going, leaning with, you know, through the school and us, and what they're doing up in Newport is, once they get that set up and get the kinks worked out of it, they'll want to replicate that down here.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we won't be able to get over the bridge.
Yeah.
or
They've talked about South County all along, but it's, right now, it's getting, they're concerned about the bridge in Newport. They keep forgetting we have a bridge in Waldport.
I mean, even if we had a major wildland fire and we weren't sending people there, and we ended up setting up the camp for all the firefighters at the high school,
Yeah.
then we have all our stuff there to kind of
Right.
help, you know,
Yeah.
facilitate.
Yeah.
You got baseball field is a great place for helicopter drops. We could put, you know, ponds out there for helicopter drops and stuff, aside from the bay and the ocean. But, you know, it's just, that's really the only place that's got this massive, very organized area to be able to set up things, because we could set up shelters all through the football field if we needed to, between the school and our townships. You know, to at least get people checked in and then say, okay, where are you going? You're gonna go to family? Okay, go and go. You know? Now, we know you're not at such and such address up in Tidewater where we have to worry about whether or not we have life safety factors of people, you know, it's more than just about structures.
Right.
So, yeah.
So did you get a clarification of what he's asking for?
I see no reason why we need to wait. I mean,
Right. I don't either. I think,
It's happening across the county, I mean.
so if we just want to make a motion to have him proceed with our approval of, yeah, okay.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, so I make a motion that, you know, that from an operations standpoint, he, chief gets the, you know, get the comics box moved over there, get the stuff transferred over and work out, and, you know, get the agreement, operational agreement sealed with the school district and Sue on that power dynamic. And go from there.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And then, just to kind of recap here on the back of my report, for March, we had, well, for February, we had 6 fires, 49 EMS calls, 1 vehicle crash, 1 water surf rescue, 10 lift assists, and 1 other assist for 68 calls. And then so far in March, we've had 4 fires, 39 EMS, 2 vehicle crashes, no water rescues, 6 lift assists, 3 other assists for a total of 54 calls so far this month. So kind of right where we've been, holding steady.
Yep.
The stopping the auto aid with Steel Rock has reduced a little bit of call volume, which is saving us on fuel and saving us on dispatching. So I wouldn't say that that's a bad thing. I think it's pretty good, saving us a little bit of money. So, any questions?
And I don't have anything for the president's report. Do we have any comments from our viewing audience?
Nope, nothing online.
Do you have anything for good of the order?
Yeah, I think, with all the other things we're doing, Chief's contract just auto renewed. I think we need to carve out some time. It's been 2 to 3 years at least since we've looked at his contract. And I think, you know, it's time, I think it's
Yeah.
time that we start putting some,
Decreases pay and.
yeah, you know, I mean, we need
Yep.
to be looking at that.
Well, Well, do we want to go ahead and put executive session on the next agenda?
We could do that. Yeah, that's fine.
You guys will have, when do you get you guys copies of the contract?
It's the 18th.
Hmm?
It's April 18th. That is April 18th.
April 18th, okay. I couldn't catch the last word there.
Yeah, April 18th.
Okay, yeah, it'll be the ORS pursuant for, performance.
Okay. And then the only other question I had was the change in the ordinance that we just approved. Is that gonna be retroactive to a certain date?
We'll have to ask you for recovery to make sure.
Hmm?
We'll have to ask you for recovery to make sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
Only comment that I have, and I know we've done this for a couple of months, is 3 o'clock is really not working for me to be here at 3. 4 I can make, 3 I can't. I have a continuing meeting on this Thursday. It's for the League of Cities for the county, and I'm a representative on it. So if we can move it to 4, it makes it easier for me to be here. Otherwise, I have to make some, it's a tough day for me to get here today.
Would it be more convenient for Zach too?
I don't know, that's what I needed to ask.
Well, Zach's on days, so,
Yeah, that's
so
what I
he'd be
needed to
coming to
ask.
the end of his day.
Yeah. I mean, 4 o'clock certainly works for me.
Yeah, most of everything that I have is ending by, when I left today, I said, bye, and they went, oh, you got another meeting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like everybody else in the rooms.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was at Fire Defense Board until almost 1 o'clock, so.
which I didn't make fire defense board because I was someplace else.
Well,
So I would like to just to suggest that if it fits one person in here, he probably can have another hour as sun is coming, so.
Yeah. I'm okay with 4.
Yeah, 4's fine.
okay, do we want to make a formal motion to move it to 4 o'clock? I guess we could.
Probably be a good idea.
Yeah, I think so. Well.
I make a motion to move from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
And I'll
okay.
second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to change the meeting time to 4 o'clock on the third Thursday of the month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you for that, and that's the only comment that I have.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else to come before the board, I can.
Oh, I got a, you guys were, I guess, doing the hydrants?
Yes.
Anything on the one on Green and Crestline, is it operational yet?
I don't know if they've done that one yet or not.
I don't either. Shine's Colors area, they may have.
It's the one that's down, I know,
Yeah.
it wasn't operational at one time, and
It was not.
I'm gonna,
So,
Greg, I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure that it's not, we haven't heard that it's back online, so.
we have issue with that hydrant?
right, because it's down so low, and I know that next month, the engineers are gonna be there to start doing that, working on that property. They, I guess, working on the permits, got all that, so they're actually putting a house there, so.
Right. The hydrant wouldn't be the homeowner's responsibility.
No, I'm just saying that work is gonna be starting there, and.
Yeah, that hydrant may need to be brought up to street. And then that would, of course, require some backfill because you can't have a hydrant that's suspended 4 feet in the air. I asked Mike a while back to go out there with us so that we could try to hook up our LDH hose to that front steamer port and see if it would put a kink in the hose, because I think it will. I think it's just enough drop
Oh, yeah.
that it'll actually put a
Pretty
kink
far
in
down,
the
yeah.
hose, and which would restrict water flow to the engine. And if that happened, then they would definitely be that's gotta come up. So it's a bit more of a bigger project than that, because if it has to come up, then, I mean, you're having to bring the land in that area up also.
Now, who's responsible for that? Is it the fire district, city?
That'd be Public Works.
Public
It's,
Works.
yeah, it's the city.
Yeah, the other hat that you have on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just use the hydrants. We don't maintain.
No, I just,
Well,
You
I
know-
wonder, is it possible to look at relocating that hydrant?
I mean, it's possible that line runs down Crestline. So,
I know
mean,
that for a while there was a question of
You could ask
whether
the
it was
person
the
that
cities
lives
or
across
whether
the
it
street.
was Southwest Lincoln.
I just, with no, fire breaks out, I'd like to have a hydrant close by.
Because the guy that lives across the street, the corner of his house is actually level with the street level.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want nothing more in my yard.
but, I mean, yeah, it's possible. Obviously, everything comes with a relative
Yeah,
cost.
yeah.
So, and backfilling basically a landing, if you will, and
Yeah.
then maybe even concreting around it, everything to keep it stable, that's gonna be a pretty penny too.
Right.
So,
But they may, I don't know, they may have to end up doing something, because the reason that whole land got in a big gully is the drainage pipe just comes under the street and it comes out and stops right there. The pipe doesn't continue, so over time, it just runs right through the property instead of running straight. And so, Mike might have to look at that, because they may have to go in and put a pipe in across there anyways.
Well,
So that it
and
doesn't run-
that's also in the area that, the sidewalk project and everything
Yep.
else. So it may be that it's being looked at already anyhow
Yeah.
by the city's engineers as part of the sidewalk project. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's a conversation with the city.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, the biggest issue is if, Greg's house caught on fire today.
Right, yeah.
The closest one is the school, I think.
Next closest one would be the school. And if I can't tie into that one across the street from his house because it restricts the water flow, then that's delay, because then I have to do a longer.
Are there any hydrants further on down
Crestline?
Green, no,
Oh,
Green
down
Fairway
Green.
Circle down in that area?
No, actually.
Yeah.
Should be able to look on our active.
I was gonna say.
So,
I just, I see them
Because
out
I'm
there
just, I'm
testing them
just
all
thinking,
down
logistically wise, if there, I mean, I would think that with the cul-de-sac back there and so on, there should be at least one more fire hydrant somewhere down there.
Yeah, with all those new homes.
Yeah.
So there's one at the corner of Green Drive and Green Lane.
Okay, so that's
Ah, okay, that's a little closer than the school.
Well, it actually looks like they're about the same.
Yeah, they're about the same. It's still
So,
be a long distance run hose.
and that would be a matter of, the engine would have to go down, connect,
Right, yeah,
and then drive
yeah,
back,
yeah.
and we typically don't do that.
Yeah.
We hit the one that's on the way, not the one that.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, don't let your house catch on fire.
And then there's the one further down Crestline too.
I need to talk to Dan.
Towards the golf course.
What's going on, maybe he can get Mike on it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may be working on it, who knows? but-
We're happy to send the engine out there and then put a pony line on it and, show that, it's gonna restrict water flow, because I'm pretty sure it is. Just by the angle of that hill, I'm pretty sure it is.
But yeah, I think there was a
What's
question
your
who owned
address?
it.
What is your address?
120,
120 Green?
yeah.
Because there's one right near 2280 Crestline also.
It's further down.
Well, that's
Yeah.
towards the golf course.
Yeah,
Yeah. We carry several hundred feet of LDH, so like, we're gonna hit one of them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's just a matter of, not only getting it there, but then also picking it up afterwards too.
Yeah.
Which, with the limited number of us that there is, if we spend 4 hours fighting house fire, the last thing we wanna do is spend another 4 hours picking up boats.
Okay, well, if
Just make
there's,
him come out and help. If it's his house.
if there isn't
Activate the
anything
board.
else, I call this meeting adjourned.